Yeah, and I'm going to start with something very special indeed. I'm going to start with MASH.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
MASH. The fact is,
Yeah, nobody thought that there would ever be a successful sitcom about potatoes.
yeah, there you go. And
I
then
regret
there's,
saying that now,
you
Ryan.
know,
There's a little part
it's
of me that was like, I'm gonna force this in, I'm gonna shoehorn this fucking joke in, and now that I've said it, it strikes me as an incredibly
you
terrible
see how
idea.
I've also had such a positive influence on you as well. Not only are you getting me to read better books by actual academics with PhDs, but you're ramming in some seriously crappy puns
Yeah,
every now and
yeah,
again. It's
yeah.
wonderful.
No, I mean, let's be honest, Ryan. I'm ashamed of myself, and I thought I was better than that.
So MASH,
Mm.
bit of a. It's not my fact yet. Before you shout, "What's the fact, Ryan?" Which is the name of this podcast. But it ran for a lot of them ran for this number 11 seasons. It was quite interesting. But
Mm.
it was first a book, 1968, and then turned into a movie in 1970, and then finally a few goes at a TV show. And my fact is this: the final episode, the finale.
It's
Uh,
one of the most famous finales of all time. This.
yeah, my fact is that it remains the most watched finale of any television series, and the most watched episode of a scripted series, the finale of MASH.
Sure, I'm gonna. I mean, so TV's entirely changed, right? Since Mash was on.
I can say that this fact is probably up until 2010. So
No, no, no. You're almost certainly right, and I'll tell you why.
okay,
Because TV itself has changed, right? Back then, in the 1980s, 1970s, 1960s, there were very few channels, and everybody used to watch the same shows. So intrinsically, like the entire America, the entire world used to tune
very
into the
much.
same very few shows. So when there was a big finale,
Oh
it was
yeah,
literally it was an event. People would stay at home and watch the show.
yeah.
So you do get these staggering numbers from the 70s and 80s TV that you don't get anymore because now it's so diversified. People now, I mean,
Unless
with
it's ultra
streaming.
huge, like Game of Thrones final episode, then it was
But
like
even then, right? People watched it on different platforms. They watched it in different ways. They saw it in different countries. Like it wasn't all streamed at the same time with everybody watching the same show at the same moment. So
yeah.
I can.
And the world has changed so fast because even in my TV production days in my former life, it was we had a term for it. It was called destination viewing, like the live lotto draw.
Right.
Destination viewing. Everyone, especially when the lotto first started in South Africa, everyone tuned in. In fact, there was a half an hour game show before, and then the live draw, and everyone tuned
Right,
in.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the way that was done. So I can easily believe that the biggest single episode watched show would be in the 80s, 90s somewhere. And I know that the MASH finale was absolutely immense. I know also, Dallas had some episodes and things that were absolutely enormous. So whether it was a Dallas episode, where Bobby Ewing got killed, or whether that, I'm sure there are things competing with MASH for who had the greatest viewership. But I'm prepared to believe it is MASH. I'm prepared to believe, yeah, you're telling me the truth.
yeah. I've started with the truth, and you've nailed it, man.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's an episode
How
called
rare.
It is rare.
Yeah.
It is rare. I must stop that. It's an episode called Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, and is the most watched television broadcast in American history. I didn't watch it, but I did watch the final episode of Dallas, and it was on. It was like 2.5 hours, and I eventually went to sleep because I was like 12, and my granny said I was going to sleep.
And also the other children in your class were mocking you so mercilessly for watching Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the devil visited JR. Did you watch it?
No, Ryan. I was put to bed strictly at 7 o'clock.
The devil visited JR. Yeah.
Like even at 16.
It's very very.
Is that
Now, Mash, it did this flip flop between comedy and drama. And so I don't know if it was that tragic episode, but there's a really tragic episode in Mash. and I don't know if it was that one. I hope it wasn't. I
Oh,
hope that
so
wasn't
you
the
haven't
finale.
seen the MASH
No.
finale. I haven't actually seen any of MASH, to be honest. And knowing
It's a
about
very
MASH and
pleasant
knowing the kind
show.
of the character names and these sorts of things is literally just passed through kind of cultural zeitgeist to me. Because I haven't, I know nothing about it.
No, I did actually watch it when it was on TV because it was sort of late at night. It was quite a late, even in the old South Africa and SAB's TV One, whatever. It was still on quite late, like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but
Wasn't
you're
really.
that couple of years older than me.
Mm.
So you've got that, like, I was still being spanked and put to bed at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much, my babysitter, for all the fetishes. Yeah. No, I mean, so it was a prime era of TV.
Mm,
Like
mm.